Hello, and welcome to Prepare for Success training with the She Will Foundation Employment Services. This training is designed for employment applicants at the entry level. However, the valuable information in this training can be used for many types of applicants. Prepare for Success training covers 3 lessons in 3-part videos. Part 1, Resume Writing. Part 2, Application Process. And Part 3, Interviewing Skills. These videos can be found at the She Will Foundation YouTube account, or you can contact the She Will Foundation office. The slides for these trainings are embedded with links to websites and resources discussed. Please reach out to the She Will Foundation office at the email address provided to request your copy of the training materials. This training video will cover Prepare for Success training, Part 3, Interview Skills at Entry Level. During this session, we will review scheduling interviews and how to prepare. We will discuss completing employer research, preparing for in-person and virtual interviews, as well as potential interview questions. We will review professional attire categories to make the best first impression. This section will also review the follow-up after interviewing, as well as the overall employment services process with Prepare for Success. When scheduling an interview with an employer, it is important to clarify the type of interview being requested, such as in person at a specific location, virtual on a digital platform, or by phone. You want to ensure that you are available before confirming an interview with an employer, verifying that you have the childcare or transportation available to attend. If an employer has called with a potential interview time, and you are unsure about your availability, ask if you can check your schedule and return their call. This option is more favorable than scheduling and having to call back to reschedule. Be responsive by answering calls and emails promptly. Remember, you want this interview and show initiative. Also, be flexible. The employer may have a limited schedule due to other panelists assisting with the interview. Preparing for interviews has several approaches, to include employer research, preparations for an in-person interview versus a virtual interview, preparing for interview questions, and preparing your professional appearance. Employer research can be one of the most valuable tools with having a successful interview. Employer research is important because it provides you context for interview conversations and prepares you to provide thoughtful answers. When researching an employer, become familiar with their product, service, or operations. Review their company website, social media, news articles, or recent achievements. This will help discover the company's culture and what you can bring to the table as a potential candidate. This research can help develop how to answer interview questions so that you target important roles they are looking for. This slide also includes a link for how to prepare for an interview in 11 steps to include employer research guidance. For in-person interviews, it is important to be on time, so allow yourself additional time for traveling to the interview location in case of changes in traffic. You will want to be presentable with your clothing, hygiene, and attitude. Once you walk through the door, leave the stress of the traffic or obstacles behind you and put your best foot forward. Be prepared with copies of your resume and other required documents. Be respectful to not only showing up on time, but not going over the allotted time either. Before leaving, thank them for the opportunity to interview and ask when you should expect a response. This slide also includes a resource link for 6 useful tips for acing your next in-person job interview. For virtual interviews, it is recommended to verify the platform used and download it in advance. Log into the app or website and test your accessibility beforehand. You will also want to ensure that you have good internet connection and that your camera is functioning properly. Create a space for your interview that is clean, without a busy background, and in good lighting. Dress for success, even virtually. You will want to look polished and professional to include your attire. Virtual interviews translate well when you are wearing a blazer, and be aware of the colorations, such as a dark background and a dark attire, creating a floating head effect, or flesh tone colors like tan or beige. Benefits of having a virtual interview are that you can have notes, but continue to ensure you are making eye contact. This slide also includes a resource link, tips for making a good impression in a virtual job interview. Interviewing tips. Know the position you are applying for and frame your responses with the qualifications they are looking for. Be sure to highlight your experience and give examples from your resume. Be as detailed as possible with your responses, but do not ramble. If you do not understand the question, respectfully ask to have it repeated or explained. Provide real-life examples to support your responses. Be prepared to ask questions by using your employer research to show interest. And with any interview, always ask when to expect a response or decision. Interview questions may vary from employer to employer. However, there are types of interview questions you can prepare for that will be beneficial in any situation. Many employers are now using the behavioral based interviews, or BBI questions, with answering in the STAR format. There are lots of sources with sample interview questions, to include the resources provided on the slide. There is also a handout available with She Will Foundation that lists commonly used interview questions. Behavioral-based interviews is a technique used by employers to evaluate an applicant based on their previous behavior by asking situational questions to learn about specific experiences. Employers are trying to learn how you behaved in real-life situations, understand how you add value to situations, and view how you handle pressure and prioritize tasks. To prepare for BBI questions, start by writing down stories about your experiences that would be applicable to a job interview. These stories come from real life experiences in your employment history or personal life. Practice these stories and descriptions out loud so that you become familiar with your wording. The response for BBI questions is answered in the STAR format. The acronym STAR stands for Situation, Task, Action, and Results. The situation, providing the setting of the experience you're about to share. Task, to illustrate the challenge you are faced. Action, a detail how you handled the situation and overcame obstacles. And results, which is what was achieved during the process. The bonus answer with BBI questions is answering in STARry, where the impact you made is also included. Responses to BBI questions should answer all aspects of the question, as some have multiple parts. You want to be specific and as detailed as possible, but do not ramble. Stay on point and follow the STAR format. Prepare for your interview by writing out your STAR answers for commonly asked BBI questions, such as customer service, teamwork, or meeting deadlines. Practice your responses so that you feel comfortable with them during an interview. Professional appearance is your first impression during an interview. Whether it is in person or virtual, your professional appearance is crucial. Always have clean clothes that are in good condition. Be showered with hair combed and personal hygiene in order. Appropriate attires are in neutral colors, such as black, white, gray, navy, or brown. You can add a hint of color, but don't add distracting pieces. Attires include dress pants, skirts and dresses below the knee, blazers, blouses, and cardigans. Ensure your clothes fit, but that they're not too tight or excessively form-fitting. If you are not sure about the fit of your attire, err on the side of caution of being too loose. Shoes should be closed-toed heels, flats, or short boots. Do not wear shoes that are too high or uncomfortable, as it will translate in your interview. Avoid bright colors or loud patterns or anything that could be distracting during your interview. Do not wear flip-flops or knee-high boots. When interviewing in person, it is important not to wear strong-smelling perfumes. The interviewer may have a sensitivity to the fragrance, and it may distract them or cause them distress. The first category of professional appearance is smart casual. This attire is recommended directly applying with an employer to include inquiring about an application. Wear a neutral colored blouse or top that at least covers your shoulders. Do not wear tank tops, low-cut tops, or bare midriffs. Pants should be a neutral color but can be more casual, such as chinos or colored non-distressed denim. Stay away from blue jeans, especially ones heavy with distressed styling. Shoes can be casual heels or ballet flats. Stay away from open toes or flip-flops. The next category of professional appearance is business casual. This attire is the minimum for all interviews and job fairs. Wear a neutral colored blouse with a tailored or fitted blazer. This particularly translates well for virtual interviews. In lieu of a blazer, you may also opt for a cardigan. A dress pant is most appropriate for this attire. However, dresses and pencil skirts below the knee are also acceptable. Wear comfortable pumps or fancy flats that you can easily walk in. The highest category of professional appearance is business formal, which can be worn for any interview, but recommended for high-level interviews or anytime you want to make an impactful impression. The attire typically is a traditional dress suit with a blazer and matching dress slacks. Stick with neutral colors like black, navy, or gray. Your top should be a solid neutral color and preferably a button-up blouse. Heels are an option, but ensure that they are not too high and are comfortable. Other options are ballet flats or loafers. If you need clothing resources with creating your professional appearance attire, She Will Foundation offers free clothing through the community closet. There are several options of professional pants, jackets, shoes, and more. The community closet is open Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Killeen location. You can always call or email the office for availability on specific sizes. Do not wait until you have an interview scheduled to find your professional attire. Start looking now so that you can be prepared and ready for your next interview and employment opportunity. After your interview, there are important follow-up steps. Within the first 24 hours, it is appropriate to send a short and professional email to say thank you for the opportunity. Next, allow the discussed response time from the interview. This is typically within 1 to 2 weeks after an interview, but does vary from employer to employer. So it is important to ask this question before leaving the interview. Be sure to use the best form of contact, whether it's email, phone call, or in person. If you don't hear back, don't assume something's wrong. The timeline may have changed, so following up again shows continued interest, but do not over-contact. After your first 1 to 2 week follow-up, allow another week before following up again. If you are not selected for a position, reach out to request feedback on your interview so that you can learn from the experience. And ask about future employment opportunities. Now that you've completed all 3 of the Prepare for Success training lessons, let's discuss what you should do next. Prepare for Success training is available in on-demand videos. Training versions include veterans, military spouse, and entry level. This slide provides the link for all training videos available with the She Will Foundation Employment Services. You can request a copy of these slides to include the embedded resource links at the email address provided. Start writing your resume by gathering the required information needed. Use a template to ensure you have collected all the information and retrieve any required documents you may need during the application process. You can also request to schedule individual assistance with She Will Foundation Employment Services by contacting the office for availability. Start registering for virtual job fairs at Job Fair X. Review the upcoming schedule and register for the category you are interested in. It's recommended to register at least 1 week out to allow ample time to match with employers. Respond to interview requests by scheduling during the specific virtual job fair dates and times. You can also register for Job Fair X as well as other local job fairs through Eventbrite. She Will Foundation has Wi-Fi and computers available for writing your resume, applying for jobs, and virtual interviews. Be sure to contact the office to make a reservation. Begin your job search by signing up for the recommended websites, searching for job listings, and applying for positions. You can also start your job search in person by directly visiting employers in your professional attire. Prepare for your interviews by researching employers and commonly asked interview questions. Start developing your real-life examples and practicing your STAR answer format. Rehearse your answers out loud and practice mock interviews. Don't wait to have your professional interview attire ready. Visit the She Will Foundation Community Closet to get your attire in order beforehand. Additional employment resources available include Texas Workforce Commission and Workforce Solutions of Central Texas. Community services available can be found on the City of Killeen listing, the She Will Foundation resource listing, or you can visit the Help List website to view other assistance programs available in the Killeen, or you can search for your location. The Killeen Housing Authority has a resource list, and the Texas Health and Human Services SNAP application is linked on this slide. This concludes our Prepare for Success entry-level training by She Will Foundation Employment Services. We truly hope you have gained valuable knowledge to assist you in the resume, application, and interviewing processes for your employment future. Thank you for joining us, and please let us know if you have any questions by contacting our office at the email provided.